Welcome back to the Blue Collar Boxing Podcast. I am Luke from Biloxi. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and give me a follow on @BlueCollarBoxing on X. Breaking this afternoon, Janibek Alimkhanuly, the WBO IBF middleweight champion of the world, has pissed hot for a performance-enhancing drug. His middleweight title unification against Arislandi Lara, the WBO title holder, is off. Multiple media outlets, Dan Rayfield, Mike Coppinger, have reported that VADA notified both camps that Janibek tested positive for the performance-enhancing drug meldonium. Never heard of it until today. I'm not a PED expert. I'm told by various people that it helps with recovery, endurance, lactic acid buildup, soreness, that type of thing. Gives you the ability to train longer and harder, and could also add significant endurance to you during the fight. Now, I'm also told that there is no acceptable level of meldonium in your system. So it's not a matter of he had X number of times the allowed dosage or levels in his blood. Zero. You can have none. I'm also told that it's pretty rare to find this in the United States in a supplement. Even some of the shadier ones, because it's just not really made and used over here. It's an Eastern Europe thing. Janibek, of course, being from Kazakhstan. You make of that what you will, I'm not sure. So, looks like Lara will be fighting a replacement opponent. The PBC show scheduled for Saturday on Amazon Prime will continue. I'll be honest, this was the fight of the night for me. This was the reason that I was going to purchase the pay-per-view. I know a lot of you use other means to watch your pay-per-views. I still buy them. I'm still hopeful that my contributions to the sport may actually lead to bigger, better fights. Call me naive. That's fine. I'm not ready to go the other route just yet. But given that this fight is off the card, I will not be watching. I'll catch some replays and I'll go that route. So, what does this say? Listen, we have a performance-enhancing drug problem in the sport of boxing. It's bad. It's really bad. And at risk of getting sued or otherwise shut down, I'm going to say this, and a lot of people are saying it, so I'm not courageous at all. Guys using performance-enhancing drugs and being able to circumvent the testing protocols is more the norm than the outlier. And what happens every once in a while is guys slip up and they get caught. And the excuse of the day is tainted supplements or accidental ingestion or eggs or beef. And look, while there may be something to those claims occasionally, they're 90% bullshit. It's a lot like financial crime. When you're talking about credit card fraud, you're talking about bank fraud, things of that nature. The criminals are always just one step ahead of the technology, right? You get a new lock, the lock picker in a day or two figures out how to pick the new lock. You get a new VADA test, the nutritionists, the trainers, the fighters, they come up with a new way to circumvent it. And guys are not getting caught. And occasionally they slip up and they retreat to the tainted supplement excuse or the accidental ingestion excuse. And it's garbage. It's crap. There's no reason for meldonium to be in your system. Meldonium is not something that is just casually out there. It's not something you really can accidentally ingest. And so for him and his team to cling to that raft is ridiculous. Now, I know why they do it. You know why they do it? Because guys get away with it. Guys get away with saying, I ate 24 eggs in a day, and that's why I popped. Right? Guys get away with, well, I took an energy drink. I drank an energy drink. 6-month ban. Well, 6-month ban, these guys fight twice a year anyway. So What's that do? Ryan Garcia's fighting again. He fought on a big show last May. He gets a world title shot after losing that. Year didn't hurt him. Didn't hurt his money. Didn't really hurt his fame. Didn't hurt his standing in the sport. He's gonna fight for the WBC welterweight championship. So the risk is worth the reward, is what I'm saying. The reward is you don't get caught, and you go into a fight in much better condition with much better attributes than you would otherwise if you were clean. And the risk is you get 6 months, a year. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, look at Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller's back in boxing. Man tested positive for everything. He had a pharmacy in his system. He's back. He'll challenge for a heavyweight championship. Once he's belt splinter, he'll get a fight. Other than Deontay Wilder, he's the most marketable American heavyweight right now. And Turkey likes him. He'll get a fight. No problem. Yeah, he did his time in, time out, but he's going to make money. He's going to get paid. It's time that we, as boxing fans, and many of you do, okay, this is me just ranting because I'm getting tired of this, but it's time that we as boxing fans understand that fighters using performance-enhancing drugs is not the outlier, it's the norm. The outlier is when they get caught. The outlier is when they fail to circumvent the test or they slip up. That's the outlier. And we can have all the conversations we want, all the hand-wringing about how you can kill someone in the ring. We know that. They don't care. They don't care. The promoters don't care. The promoters turn a blind eye. The commissions do what they have to do to maintain some level of credibility. The sanctioning bodies, they blame the commissions. And the commissions blame the sanctioning bodies. Look, boxing it's not unique to boxing. This is happening in all sports, not just combat sports, not just boxing. Obviously, the difference is you can die in this sport. The other thing that we as boxing fans and those of us who are out there just trying to make content, or really, I don't even consider myself a content creator. I just consider myself a ranter who needs an outlet. Thank you to my 60 subscribers, by the way. Outstanding. You need to take the fact that, as I said, those on PEDs are not the outlier. The outlier is when they get caught. You have to take that into consideration when you bet on boxing. Because it is a factor. It's a factor as much as a weight class. It's a factor as much as a fighter's age. It's a factor as much as styles make fights. It's a factor as much as, how much damage a guy's taken over a career. You have to take PED usage into account if you're going to educatedly bet on boxing. The Devin Haney-Ryan Garcia fight is a testament to that, right? Because if you bet on Devin Haney that night, you didn't get your stake back. You didn't. The sports books go by the ringside decision. They could have overturned it to a DQ and given Haney the win, and you still wouldn't have gotten your stake back, much less won your bet. Ryan Garcia is on record as saying he bet, or through a front, bet tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars that netted him, over $1 million in proceeds from those bets. Those bets were paid, even though he cheated, even though he got a year suspension. So that has to be part of your calculus when you're betting on boxing. And, then you go online and you have the apologists. You have the guys saying, PEDs don't give skills. That is just a bunch of crap, guys. It makes you do everything better. Everything. Everything. And for the most part, the benefits of the PEDs are not while you're on them. It's the work that you do in the gym while you're on them that makes you into a better fighter for fight night. And that's a lot of how these guys circumvent the test. They go through a clean period, but the gains that they make while they're dirty are what gives them the advantage. You know, if that were the case, then why was anyone up in arms that Margarito taped his hands in such a way to create a plaster effect? He still had to throw the punches. He still had to have some power. You put plaster of Paris on a 3-year-old's fist, it doesn't do anything, right? He still had to have the boxing prowess, the timing, the ability to counterpunch, the ability to read his opponent, cardio, all those things. So why does it matter that he had plaster of Paris on it in his gloves? It matters. It fucking matters. If that were the case, just give everybody in Major League Baseball a cork bat, and then you can just say, well, he still had to have the bat speed, still had to be able to connect with the baseball, still had to be able to read a pitcher. Give him all the, so does it matter that he cheated with a cork bat? It matters. Especially at world level, the margins of victory, even in knockouts, even in vicious knockouts, are so small. We're talking percentages of percentages are so small. So if you get just a modicum of advantage by doing something that is not per the rules, that changes outcomes of fights, and it can get people hurt. I'm disappointed about this. I was excited about this weekend. As you guys know, I'm sort of a blue-collar guy, hence the name of the podcast. I was off. I was going to get this fight. So I'm disappointed. I'm not surprised. We have a problem. We have a significant problem with PEDs. And I don't know what the solution is. I'm not a believer that the U.S. government can come in and do anything to make it any better. So I think it's just something that we just accept. We have to sort of accept it like we accept bad judging, or we accept bad refereeing, or we accept, poor matchmaking. Here we are again. That the middleweight division was a dumpster fire. Janibek was about to fight his second middleweight titleist to unify, and Galtieri and Laura are not ranked in the top 10 of the Ring Magazine ratings at the time that they held belts. Isn't that incredible? That's how bad the middleweight division is. So this will drag out, be 6 months of litigation. They'll produce some bullshit supplement, and he'll get a slap on the wrist. He'll probably keep his belts, although he should be stripped, and we'll move on. But don't bet on these fights, guys. I don't recommend it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let's mix it up. If you know more about meldonium, let me know. And, give me a follow at Blue Collar Boxing on X. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.